Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. We are at part 2 of the Scott Spies case. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is very strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. On February 15th of 2010, Scott Spies was officially terminated from his employment with Auburn Adventist Academy. On February 16th of 2010, the Auburn Police Department started investigating sexual abuse allegations. The Academy's principal, Marvin Mitchell, told the press in multiple interviews that he spoke to Scott Spies and he was remorseful. The principal also disclosed in multiple interviews that the 16-year-old student was an international boarding student. The principal described how she looked to Mr. Spies as a, quote, mentor, and she found a person who she felt she could share with, and that was the beginning of it, end quote. Authorities, detectives, prosecutors, the judge, and I call it as rape. My gears were grinded even more when articles proceeded to describe the rape or abuse as an affair or a relationship. Whenever a teacher has an inappropriate relationship with a student, not only is that abuse of power and trust, but that is rape, period. Doug Bing, vice president of the Washington Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, told the press, and I quote, "I've seen this happen very rarely in my years of working with the church," end quote. And what I have to say, really rarely, I highly doubt that as a true statement, considering I've only been doing true crime content since February and I've already covered 27 Seventh-day Adventist cases, 11 of them having to do specifically with pedophiles such as Wade Frank Ricks, Heather Cook, Ronald Whitlake, Lowell Nelson, Kevin Hardesty, Robert Hicks, Alton King, Monty Sawyer, Christopher Bishbam, Derek Michael Boyce, Corey Herthel, and now today's piece of shit named Scott Allen Spies. In a February 19, 2010 interview with KVOL News, a neighbor, Alana Shemchuk, said, and I quote, "He just comes and goes. He doesn't stop. He's just really quick and he's never out. He's just a really quiet man." Another teacher at the school, Tom Allen, told the news, and I quote, "We were all called into a faculty meeting, and that's the first time I heard it," end quote. On February 16th of 2010, Scott Spies was arrested and booked on a $150,000 bail. As he was being arrested, he claimed to be surprised that he was being jailed, while at the same time admitting that what he did was against the law. According to the police report, and I quote, "He asked why he had to be arrested that night and why it couldn't wait until the morning," end quote. According to Auburn police detectives, during an interview, Mr. Spies admitted that he had sex with his student at his apartment, where this real-life cucuy would continue to rape his victim on a regular basis. If charged with all 3 counts, he faced a maximum of 5 years in prison. In March of 2010, he pleaded not guilty as charged and requested a trial. The trial was scheduled for December of 2010 with King County Superior Court case number 10-1-1-00960-1 and it was postponed to February 14th of 2011, It was moved for a second time to March 17th of 2011, and the trial was moved for a third time to May 9th, 2011. During the postponement process, the attorneys involved highly alluded to talks of a plea bargain being in the works. Scott was being represented by Jeffrey Cohen, and in April of 2011, he pleaded guilty to one count of felony sexual misconduct with the minor in the first degree. According to public court records, specifically the judgment and felony sentence stated April 15th of 2011, Scott Allen Spies was ordered to pay $600 in restitution and was sentenced to 12 months in King County Jail for his Class 2 felony by Judge J. V. White. What I found interesting is that in the part where it specifies that the defendant, aka this real-life monster, have no contact with the victim or minors, a handwritten addendum was added that states, and I quote, "unless approved by treatment provider or court," end quote. And although the principal at Auburn Adventist Academy, Marvin Mitchell, had sent the Board of Education a letter describing Scott's lack of personal fitness in violation to the Code of Professional Conduct on February 26th of 2010, it was not until after his sentencing that in August of 2011, the state of Washington permanently revoked his teaching license. We've reached the end of today's episode over at Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. Thank you so much for coming down the rabbit hole where I currently live. Stay tuned for the next episode on the next case. Make sure to follow me on socials. My personal Instagram is at bayarea.housewife. The podcast Instagram is at bayarehw of True Crime. You can find full recordings of these episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and of course here on TikTok. If you like my content, do me a solid and rate my show wherever you listen. As always, I respect and accept your opinions. I welcome all comments, questions, case suggestions, etc. Call me, beat me at yayareahousewife@gmail.com. And yes, that's yay area with the Y, like E40 said. I'll see you chismosas y chismosos in the next. Adios. New episodes will be released every Wednesday.